So this week at the interview with The Wire, we had Robbie Lavoie. We talk about his path in martial arts. So we start back when he was 5 years old at Douvris martial art, and we go all the way through now, almost 30 years later. So it was really a big journey. He has a lot of experience. He started young in competition. He has done a lot. So we talk about everything. We talk a lot too about his life, personal. So it was really great.
So if you guys want to support the podcast, we encourage you to like the episode you like, share them, comment them, and write to us about what next guest we should have. We are really open about it. And if you want to do a little bit more support, you can go on Patreon. If you only speak English, then you can subscribe for $1 or $2, and you can have the audio in exclusive for $1, or for $2 you have videos, audios, plus the Blitz quiz exclusive in English only. So for $2 a month, it's really cheap, and it helps us a lot to grow and to have better technical stuff, and to make the podcast bigger and bigger. And we thank you for that. And I want to take times to thanks our Patreon that support us right now. So we like you guys, we love you guys, and we thank you guys a lot. Have a good podcast.
Les cicatrices nous rappellent d'où on arrive. Les combats qu'on doit livrer quand le destin chavire. Guerrier, on fera ce qu'il faut pour la famille. Cœur de lion, œil de tigre, on a la paix dans la mire.
The battles are never ending, I know, but we will get up and get on with the fight, and we'll do whatever for what is right. Just put your trust in us, in us.
So this week at Interview with The Wire, we have the honor to receive a worldwide known world champion in point fighting, Sensei Robbie Lavoie. So hi Robbie, it's really great to have you today. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you guys for having me on the podcast, and looking forward to it, man. Things are good. Yeah, just having fun. Thanks again for asking me to be on this. It's my pleasure to be on it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool. Look, we want to put the light. We know you as a champion in competition. We saw you, but today we want to tell people, like maybe even people that train with you, for years. Like we want to know how you start into karate and stuff like that. So how does it come in your life, and what age, and where are you from too?
So I'm from Ottawa, Ontario. I started martial arts and training when I was 5 years old. I just one of those typical kids who I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle, man. I wanted to be just like Michelangelo, and that's where I kind of started and stuff like that. I trained out of Douvris martial arts. I've been there since I was 5 years old, man, and it's something that I fell in love with at a young age, man, and just never really looked back. I started competing a lot when I was about 9 or 10 years old. I went to my first world championships, and I loved competing, and I just always I liked testing myself and always trying to be a better version of myself. I fell in love with it, man, and it's just become part of my life, and it is my life, So I started off just wanting to be a Ninja Turtle, man, and here I am, just 30 years later, just doing it still to this day, and teaching and helping out, running the school and stuff like that. Head instructor at Douvris martial arts, and it's a livelihood, man. For me, it's not a hobby. It's just something that I've always loved to do, and it's just who I am today.
And as a kid, how were you as a kid? We often hear that, the fighters were like, as a kid, I like to go in a fight. I had a temper and stuff like that, or I had a life more difficult, so I had to fight to go through it. So how was it for you?
I was a really hyper kid. I had a lot of energy, man. Like, I had a hard time paying attention to anything. I just, the only time I was able to focus was like in karate class. So I was always a well-behaved student, but I always had a lot of energy, man. But when I was a kid, I was super shy. I didn't like talking to people. I was always kind of to myself. I was just really hyper kid, but I was super shy and stuff like that. But no, I had a good upbringing and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't really have a temper. Like I wasn't the nicest person in the world, but I was never
Mm-hmm.
really had a temper or anything like that. I was like a shy kid, not very social and stuff like that. But I was just super hyper. I was bouncing off the walls all the time. But yeah, that's about it. Like why I just kind of fell in love with martial arts, and it helped me like kind of focus a little bit. And it was the only time
Yeah.
like I was actually able to focus.
And
Mm-hmm.
can you recall for us the first time you put foot in the dojos, and where was it?
It was at Douvris Martial Arts, man. It was one of the original, like their second location, and it was 1991. I kind of remember my first class. I don't really remember my first class. It was a long
Mm-hmm.
time ago, but yeah, I just remember kind of like I still remember going down the stairs into the karate school and stuff like that because it was on like in the basement kind of thing, kind of area and stuff like that. But I remember that, and then yeah, that's about it, man. It was a long time ago. I get hit in the head a lot, man. I don't remember. I have the best memory in the world.
And you start competition like almost at the beginning, like white belt,
um,
yellow, I think. You saw.
I think my first competition, I think I was maybe an orange belt or a green
Huh.
belt or something like that. I started at that, but I didn't compete a lot until I got my black belt when I was a little bit
Mm-hmm.
older. I got my black belt when I was 9, and
It's
yeah,
pretty
that's
young.
when I started competing. Yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
pretty young, man, and that's basically when I first started competing a lot, and then I started competing. I went to my first world championship when I was 10 years old, and then yeah, and then from there I started competing all the time, man. I think that's when
Huh.
probably about when I was 9 or 10. That's when I really started competing a lot, and I just kept competing a lot, man.
What was the association at that time, and where was it the first year?
It,
Like
it
when?
was WKA at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in '96 WKA, and it was in Prague, Czech Republic.
Okay. Wow. 96. Wow. I was
Wow.
born that
Yeah.
year, Robbie.
Oh wow, yeah. See, told you I've been doing this a long time, man.
Yeah, man.
I've been
Yeah.
doing it a long time, brother.
25 years this year. Yeah.
25 years. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
And
And yeah.
go ahead. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
And your last competition, I guess, was the Irish Open 2020.
I didn't go to the
Didn't go.
Irish
Okay.
Open in 2019. Actually, was it 2000? No, it's 2020. Yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't even get to go, man. I
It
had
was really
hand
the last
surgery.
one because it was in March, but like the week
Yeah,
before everything
right.
go down. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't
Uh-huh.
get a chance to go
Okay.
because I had a hand injury and I had surgery like maybe a month before. So
Mhm.
yeah, I wasn't able to. So like my last like tournament was probably the World Championships in 2019 in
It
Niagara
was
Falls, New
awesome.
York.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That was like my last big competition, and then last October I fought in Atlanta for Pro Point, and
Mhm.
it was kind of like a set show kind of thing. It wasn't a tournament. But yeah, I guess those are my last few competitions, man. It's been a long time.
And talking about pro points, since we're in there, we're gonna get back to the beginning after. But how do
Yeah,
you like that? How do you like doing pro point
I
fight?
I
It is
I
really
love it,
different from
man.
point fighting, but it's like
Yeah,
I guess it is the way to put it mainstream, right? Like
yeah,
to
it's
make
something
point fight
different too,
mainstream.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
something
coming here.
different. Yeah,
Mhm.
hopefully, man, it's awesome, and I really enjoyed it. I loved how they kind of treated the fighters, the whole like kind of like how it's a show, you know. It's just like
Mhm.
it's a lot different than a tournament, and yeah, I like the rules. It's just yeah, something new, something different, and it's exciting for me because I've done every tournament in the world for how many times, you know, like I've been to uh, the US Open like 15, 16 times. I've been to the Irish Open every year except for 2 years since 2003, you know, like I like
Mhm.
having a like different competitions, different things to do, you know, and yeah, it just had a different kind of gave me a different kind of motivation, you know, just like something a little different. And I like the fact is set fights, you know, like where you're getting to
Yeah.
fight different people sometimes too. So yeah, I still like going to regular competitions and stuff like that, and I can't wait until we can actually do one again.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, I like the pro point. It's something different, something exciting, man. And yeah, and yeah, I love it, man. It was really cool. It was a great experience. I'm looking forward to doing another one as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's coming in Ontario, I think, and in Quebec. In Quebec, I know we
Yeah,
have Sam that is gonna. try to make
Yeah,
it bigger.
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
cool. It's gonna
looking
be cool.
forward to it, man.
Mm. Where were we before that menu?
Yeah, I wanted to coming back to your first time in the World Championship. It
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
yeah,
in Europe, and you were a kid. So how was it? So was it your first time overseas, and what was your
Yeah,
impression at the time?
it was different, man. I remember, yeah, it was just really weird getting on a plane for like 10 hours when I was like 10 years old. You know, it was
Mm,
mm-hmm.
different food and everything like that. But
mm-hmm,
um, yeah, it was cool seeing like all the different countries, all the different kind of different fighters and stuff like that. It was really cool. And yeah, and like back then there wasn't like the 10 and under divisions or 12 and under. It was just 17 and under at that time. And they didn't have a bunch of kids divisions like they used to. It was like one forms division, 17 and under. Well, and then the weight class was like minus 35 to plus 60 or plus
Mm-hmm.
70 or something for 17 and under, man. So yeah, it was a lot different. It was a cool experience. And yeah, those international competitions when I was a kid really helped me become a kind of
mm-hmm.
the fighter I am today. You know, like I got to fight a lot of different kind of styles, a lot of different kind of fighters too, right? Because like
Yeah.
in North Americans fight so different than Europeans, you know, and like I got to fight people out here with a certain style. Then I got to fight other people with different styles, you know. So the more people you fight and the more experience you get, like fighting different kind of like styles and stuff like that, help you grow as a competitor, you know. So I was blessed to have those experiences, and yeah, they really kind of helped me get to where I am today.
And in
Totally.
that line of talk, it get me a question. Who would you say was your nemesis? Did you have one, like a person that you always
Yeah, it's crazy,
clashed with?
man. Me, like in Europe or just in general, and like
In general, yeah.
Yeah, like in your
yeah,
career, someone that you really like stood up
we
against
fought.
a lot.
I fought Jack Felton a lot as a junior and growing up, but me and him have been friends since we were like 12, 13 years old. And then when we were about 18, we became teammates, you know, like
Yeah.
we fought a lot. And also Robbie Hughes from England, man, I fought him a whole bunch growing up too, and as an adult and stuff too. So those are some of the fighters that I've fought the most, to be honest, you know, and they make me better every time I do
Mm-hmm.
fight with them and have fought with them. And me and Jack were like, when I was living in California for those 4.5 years, like he was one of my main training partners. We sparred together like 3 days a week, training with each other 5 days a week, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
we just make each other better at the end of the day too, when you have those people to constantly push you and stuff as well.
Nice. And
Mm-hmm.
what made you go live out there in California?
I just wanted something different, you know what I
Okay.
mean? It just part, yeah. I was just kind of wanted to change in my life a little bit, and just wanted to get away for a while, you know, and just
Yeah.
yeah, get different experiences and learn and just live life, man. It's just for me, I was kind of like I was like 26 years old, 27, and I was just like I just feel like having something different in my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surrounded by some amazing people over there and stuff like that. I learned a lot about life and just a lot about myself, and got to train with a lot of different people, learn about more about martial arts and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that too, man. So it was a great experience, and I would never trade it in for the world, man. I loved it.
Nice.
Yeah, of course. You train with like Raymond Daniels, the whole star team and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole All Star
Yeah.
team. It was like me, Raymond Daniels, Jack Felton, Leon Jefferson, Jamal Albini. You know, like that. That's one of the best training rooms in the world when we're all together training. You know, like every sparring round is like you're fighting for a
Your
grand
life. Yeah,
championship. You
yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like you don't get that round off. You
Uh-huh.
know, and everything was tough, man. And yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Yeah, I often see you guys in competition. You didn't even like wear helmet like in competition, like because you guys train without, I guess.
I never trained with a helmet, man. I haven't put on a helmet. I have not trained with a or wore a helmet since the World Championships in 2019.
Uh-huh.
I have not worn one. I don't even know where my helmet is. I really don't, man. I really don't.
No, but
Like,
in competition, when I saw you fighting Raymond Daniels, like you didn't have your helmet when you fight
Oh,
him.
at the PKC, yeah, because
Yeah.
it was the Warrior Challenge. It's probably the last time I fought him in 2014. And yeah, we didn't need to wear helmets, so I'm not wearing a helmet if I don't have to wear a helmet, man.
And you said that you are doing it in a professional league right now, or before COVID. So how did it come to it? How did you enter that professional point fight league?
The pro point thing. I was one of the seeds that went. I just kind of they were throwing a show for lightweights and stuff, and I was just in touch with the promoter, and they offered to they wanted me out there to compete and stuff like that. So it was good. It was a really big weight class for me because I'm only about 135 pounds, 140 pounds, and it was minus 169. So it was a little bit different with those rules and stuff like that, like with the weights. But man, it was a cool experience. And yeah, something different. Hopefully I'll be fighting on their next card and stuff like that as well. So.
And did you teach professionally? What are you doing professionally?
Yeah, I just teach at a school, man. Just teach full time. Just help running, being the head instructor at Douvris Martial Arts at their headquarters. And yeah, that's what I do. I just train and teach, and yeah, that's about it, man. And just like I said, it was my life.
Yeah.
And you give classes through Zoom to like people around the world for sparring, I guess?
Yeah, I do a lot of private lessons, man. I do a bunch in a week. Like I have people in England, throughout the States. I have people in Canada and stuff as well. So it's pretty cool, man. I love what I do. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
No, that's nice.
And as a teacher, what would you say, what advice would you give to a new fighters coming up in the dojo saying, I want to be the next Robbie, you know? How could I do it?
You know what, man? It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication and a lot of hard work. And like, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, man. It's a lot of ups and downs. Like sometimes you're going to lose that motivation, but it comes down to what you want and seeing what you're capable of. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's just, I've always was curious to see what am I capable of doing, you know? And if I work hard enough, and I was always confident, I was always super determined, you know, just through hard work and discipline, a lot of things, most things are possible, you know. It's just, you gotta want it at the end of the day, and you gotta constantly want it. And there's going to be ups and downs because you're not going to win all the time. You know, sometimes you're going to lose for a little bit, and then you're going to win, and you're going to have the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, you know. And sometimes it's not for everybody, you know. Some people are okay with getting like second and third place, and that's okay, but that's not me, you know. If you really want something, it's just you gotta hate to lose more than you love to win, you know. So it's just a lot of hard work and just perseverance too, because you are gonna have those ups and downs. But yeah, you just gotta keep pushing through those obstacles, man, and just hard work will bring you a lot of places.
Work until they can't ignore you.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly.
And we talk about your injury at your hand, but did you ever like get a big injury, like a concussion or broken ribs or stuff like that? Like, do you ever get injured badly?
Yeah, so I actually had surgery on my hand, on my hand when I hurt it.
Okay,
so that was good. I've broken my ribs before. I've had knee surgery before and stuff. That was like 11 years ago. But yeah, just busted ribs, bad knee. My knee is okay now, my hand, but yeah, no concussions, knock on wood. But yeah, I've broken my nose a few times too. Yeah, exactly, knock on some wood. But yeah, I've broken my ribs, broken my nose, busted my hand a few times, and my knee. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and I tore my Achilles.
Oh, just that.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that was probably the worst one.
And after all that, you still like when you fight, you still have all that, all that swag, man. When you fight, you spin, you blitz, you go and
I don't know, man. I've always taken pretty good care of my body, man. And like anytime an injury does happen, I make sure to
you take the time to
take the time, get do the proper rehabilitation and stuff like that to strengthen it. Excuse me, before I go back to doing something. You know what I mean? I take time. If the doctor says 6 weeks, I'm going to take maybe 8 weeks, and slowly build up. So I just been smart about those injuries and coming back from those injuries, man. So excuse me. So like, yeah, some people's body doesn't respond well, but some people aren't patient, so or some people just don't take care of themselves properly after an injury, right? So they use it more as like a break to take 2 months off rather than 2 months to get back to where they want to be, so it's all about taking care of myself and building up instead of just doing nothing,
We were talking earlier about you went everywhere to fight and do competition. And when you went over there, first, did you take time to like visit from time to time, or is just like fast travel, or when you were young it was like that and now you take the time, like how that it went?
Yeah, so
you take time to train with people when you go over there, like just compete, or like, hey, I like what you did, we should train. I'm here like for 5 days, like how does it work?
Before, when I was younger, like it would just go to the tournament and just come home, like I had to, like, especially when I was a teenager, like I had to start like going to Europe and stuff like that. Like my first Irish Open, I was only like 16 or 17, right? So, and I would just go with like my teammates and stuff like that. Then I'd come home. But as I got a little bit older and like I could start doing things on my own when I was like 19, 20, 21, I started to like stay for a few days afterwards and stuff, like me and a couple of the guys and stuff like that, me and a couple of my teammates, like me, Jack, and Ray and stuff like that, would stay after like a few days extra and just kind of see the place or the country we were at and stuff like that, which was really cool. Like one of my favorite places that I went to was Athens, Greece, and we went for the Athens Challenge, and we stayed an extra few days to go like to Acropolis and stuff like that, see all the cool things. And then like when I went to, like, sometimes when we go to Italy, we go to Rome for a couple of days afterwards and see some stuff. And then with like training afterwards and stuff like that, depends where I was at, you know what I mean? Like if I knew some of the people there, or if my teammates lived there, then I would kind of stay and train sometimes. But a lot of times afterwards, like after a tournament, I would just want to kind of like relax and just enjoy the time in the place, like I trained so hard to go to that tournament. Like afterwards, like I would want to just relax and just go eat whatever I wanted to eat and just see some cool stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And I was wondering, since you fight for all your life like that, did you ever thought about going into the MMA circles and stuff like that, or no?
Yeah, I've done a pro kickboxing fight, stuff like that. I started doing a lot of jiu-jitsu for the longest time, and then I actually took like a little break from doing like karate tournaments for like maybe 8 months, and I started doing a lot of like grappling and jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just I love training in different martial arts and stuff like that. It's just I like challenging myself in different ways. But sport karate and sport martial arts are kind of like my passion, It's what I love to do. And yeah, it's just I could have gone and ventured off to other things and like done other things, but like yeah, I'm happy, and like I'm happy doing what I love to do,
Yeah, but I kind of feel like I'm gonna say what you can't say. I'm gonna I kind of feel like our sport doesn't have the recognition that it has. Yeah, and you are one of the best of the best of the best. So to change and go in other, like let's take Michael Jordan, who want to do basketball and baseball. It's like two different things, So you are a professional in point fighting, one of the best of the best of the best ever. And no, but it's real, man. I was looking at you when I was a kid, and now you're still doing, like It's just you're
Thanks,
so many
man.
level,
I
and
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
so like it's normal for you like to like like our
Mm.
sport should just be bigger and on TV at that point. But I hope that's what Pro Point could do or something like that in the future,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
our athlete deserve
Mm.
this. You deserve this. Raymond deserved it. Jack, everybody, like lots
Mhm.
of people should be
Yeah,
on
and
TV.
absolutely. I totally agree with you. And just like some of those athletes like Raymond and Ross and stuff like that have gone,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael Page have gone to do other things. It's just, for me, it's just like, yeah, and they're doing incredible with what they're doing, and I'm really proud of
Mm-hmm.
them. And like Raymond's like my big brother, man. He's
Yeah.
like, I talk to him every couple of days on the phone, like talk to him all the time. He is my big brother, and yeah, I'm so proud of him and like the things that he's been able to accomplish. But like for me, it's just I had fun doing those other things. I'll still
Mm-hmm.
do those other things from time to time.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, totally. And we're gonna push you point fight to be more known and known and known. So at some point they're gonna be on
Yeah,
TV,
hopefully.
Robbie. Yeah.
Well, hopefully, man. I hope that maybe the next generation, like
Mhm.
the kids and the teenagers now, or even the young adults that are fighting right now, have those opportunities, and just as long as we keep fighting and keep doing our thing and just keep working hard, man, it'll get there one day, And
Yeah.
yeah, as long as we do our part, and me as being a little bit older of a competitor, kind of just help train and teach and just hand on the knowledge that we've been
Mm-hmm.
able to gain, like through competing
Mhm.
and stuff, that the next generation's in great hands, and they're going to be incredible competitors. And I hope some of my students that I teach now have all the opportunities that I've had, and had more, and have had more, or gonna have more success than I have.
Yeah.
I gotta leave the sport in a better position than when I got in. And just
Mhm.
help the next generation just accomplish the things that they want to accomplish and stuff as
Mhm.
well.
What
Mm-hmm.
would you say is your secret weapon as a fighter? What would you say? What is your force?
I don't know, man. Just I think the most important thing, I like, everybody can kick and punch.
Mhm.
Everybody can kick and punch and stuff like that. But for me, I think the best thing that works for me the best is my footwork is really, really good. And I understand like my timing and my distance really
Mm.
well. And everybody can throw a side kick, can throw a reverse punch, can throw a back fist and defensive side kick.
Mhm.
Comes down to like strategy, like just
Mm-hmm.
strategy. And yeah, just understanding your distance is really important too. Like I
Yeah.
understand my distance, and I got a good fight IQ, and I think my fight IQ is
Yeah.
what helps me the most.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And you really like use your explosion as at the most, like the boom, and you're there in 10
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah. Luckily, I've been fat. I'm fast, and I'm
yeah.
explosive. Like I've worked at it
That's
to
the
like,
word. Yeah. That,
yeah. I've always been explosive. I've worked at it to get it better, but yeah, that's a good thing too. But that's something you can't really teach. Like either you're an
mhm.
explosive
Mm.
person or you're not. But
Yeah.
you can teach strategy. You can teach people how to like learn and understand their distance, and you can help people learn about their timing and stuff as well, right? But like yeah, you can help people with strategy and stuff like that, but like explosion you can't really teach, right? So
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
you can
Because
help people get more explosive, but that's
yeah,
just genetics
because
too,
people don't want
right?
to get counter sides, so it's like you can tell them how
Yeah,
to do it, but they won't do it because they
yeah, exactly, man. And so it comes down to like
yeah,
being
that's good.
smart and stuff
Mm.
too, right? So
Mm-hmm. It takes some coronas just to
Yeah.
pardon.
it takes some
It
balls.
takes some balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Cojones.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I was wondering, Jeremy made it very clear that you were a role model for him as a fighter.
Oh gosh.
But for you growing up, who were your role model? Who were your idols and stuff?
I had a couple, man. Dominic and Fortunato and Aversa, man. Like they were
Mhm.
really big, like big role models for me. They kind of took me under their wing when I was younger kid kind of coming up. I got to see them train every day. I was like 9, 10 years old, and I got to see them train all the time. I got to be in the same training room with them when I was a kid, watching them train. And then when I got a little bit older, when I was about 14, 15, I started training with them all the time and stuff like that. So those are two really big idols and people I looked up to, and Raymond Daniels and Jody Tension, man. Those four were always my biggest motivators and my biggest role models growing up, man. Like without them, like I wouldn't be where I am today. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten to train a lot with Jody. I've gotten to train obviously with Raymond a lot, and Dom and Forge, you know, and they've helped kind of mold me into the individual and the competitor I am today, man.
Yeah, we talk about like IQ in the ring. Jaddy is one of the smartest people I've ever heard talking about fight. I binge watch his YouTube channel. If someone wants to hear about YouTube about point fighting, go see that. It's
he's
wow.
Very intelligent, man. He breaks things down really well. Raymond breaks down things really well and stuff too, man. It's just like even just a conversation with one of those two, man, can like you don't even have to train with them. You can just listen to them talk for like 30-40 minutes about something, and you're gonna get better, you know. It's just that's how intelligent they are, and it's no secret why they had the success they had, you know what I mean? So like they're just very intelligent. They study, and they love the sport and stuff too, right? So the more you love the sport, the more you're gonna learn about it, and the more you're gonna embed yourself in it, right? So it's just like it's no secret why those two are why the two of the best fighters that ever lived, you know. And and I've been lucky enough to train with both of them and compete against both of them and be teammates with both of them as well, you know. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And how we come to that is teammates Tom Roberts. You told me that you that's how you
Tom,
became
man.
to the you post a picture about Tom. I was like, that goat, man, Tom.
So Tom's awesome, man. Tom's such a good guy, and I've known Tom. Like he was actually at when I went to my first World Championships. He was there as well. You know, he was in the men's division and stuff like that, but he was there as well. And I got to when I competed and stuff like that. And I've known him since I was like 10 years old. You know, and just we've competed on so many teams together, like at the World Championships and stuff like that. Probably mostly every year since I was in the men's division since 2003. You know, like we got to compete a lot together. We trained together a bunch too, and he's just a great person, man, and he's a good person to have on your side and stuff as well, man. It's just when we go into those WKC team fights, I know he knows I got his back, and I know he's got my back, you know, and it's just we have that chemistry with our WKC men's team that is pretty hard to beat, man. So we have that trust in each other, and we have that chemistry as well too.
That's awesome, because you are always almost the same team, you know, like it's
so the men's team has basically been almost the same kind of people for the longest time, you know. So it's been a lot. We've been in a lot of wars together over these last forever.
Which world championship final would be like the most epic? WKC one, I mean, would be the most epic. Like, was it against Ireland in Ireland or Team USA in USA? Because I've seen a couple of them, but not as much as you. Which one would you say like was the most epic? Like, I was the last fight, and it was in USA against USA. Like, what was it?
I think the best one was it was in Spain, I think in 2011, and
I was there.
That one was crazy, man. Like it was Team Canada versus USA, and I think USA had Jody Tension, Ross Levine, Troy Binns, Carlos Tierney, and Reggie Perry was their 5-man team. Then our 5-man team was me, Cody Deesberg, Tom Roberts, Dominic Fortunato Aversa. And it came down to the wire, you know, like it was the last fight. I was the last fight, and it went into like I tied it in the points, and then it was tied in points after the 5 matches, like wins, points, and tie. You know, everything was down to a tie, and we had to fight like a minute or two. I had to fight a minute or two overtime, and we ended up getting the win, man. And it was just like the atmosphere was really cool, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was probably the craziest team final I've been in.
Yeah, and the place was huge that year. I remember Spain.
Yeah, it was cool, man. Yeah,
It was my first championship as
yeah,
in my career, and ever since then hasn't been big like that. I was like, oh man, that's a world championship, and
it
since
was
then I'm like
crazy,
always like,
man. It was crazy, man. Spain was a really good world championships, man. And it was pretty electric, man. It was fun times, man. And those are the memories that our sport gives, you know, and just things that I'll never forget in my life, like having that opportunity to be put in that position, you know, and just have that just memory, you know. The medals don't mean anything to me, man. Like I have so many medals, you know. It's just that the medals and the trophies are just kind of like a symbol of like the hard work you put in. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the memories that you created through those competitions. And like for me, that's why I love it, man. It's just the memories and the people and the challenges, you know. That's just going to matter to me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, nice.
Right, because you see, now we know Robbie is a fighter. Like you Irish Open, yeah, he has won it many times. Like we don't know when, but he has won it many times. You know, like it's that.
And maybe as a final question, I would ask, which country in the world except ours, which one did you say is the toughest fighters?
USA is obviously one of them. USA and Hungary, man. The Hungarians are really good too. Like you have Zol Marati, Laszlo Gombos, Roland, and Richie Veras. You know, like the Hungarians have always been a powerhouse. There's some good Italians too. Elijah Everell from England is amazing. You know, like but yeah,
England people just look like people from jail, straight up.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but yeah, just yeah, the Americans are really good, Hungarians, and yeah, just you get people from everywhere now too, which is really cool. But Hungarians, the British Wacko team's really good. I think they won the Europeans or the last world team event for the Wackos last time, I think. So yeah, there's a lot of good countries, man. And then you got Roman from Austria and stuff too. You got the German team. There's a lot of good German fighters now too, with like Timmy and Anatoly, you know. So and Dominic Mayer, like there's a lot of good fighters out now, man. Just kind of from a little bit from everywhere. So it's really cool and it makes it interesting.
Thank you, Robbie, for your time today.